Obviously, you were a good basketball player, but you went to Georgetown University, and I'm sure basketball was helpful, but that means you couldn't have been a bad student.
I was a very good student. I could have been a lot better. I teach these young players coming into the NBA. They're receiving all these accolades and a tremendous amount of wealth that one day the ball's going to stop bouncing. You got to start planning what you're going to do.
And that's where all those life skills come in, right?
That's where those life skills come in.
Welcome to the Future of Education podcast, hosted by Mackenzie Price. Mackenzie is the founder of a revolutionary new school model that's disrupting education through AI. Join us as we discuss the latest in education innovation.
We're here because I have a very special guest today, Alonzo Mourning. He is a 15-year NBA veteran, Hall of Famer, one of the biggest basketball people in history. Jay, what am I missing?
Hall of Fame, gold medalist.
Thank you.
You know, one of the legends.
Yeah.
Just on Shaq's podcast. I listened to it, loved it.
Right.
Yes, he's got everything, but that's not the reason he's here on Future of Education. The reason Alonzo is joining me is because he is passionate about education as well. So Alonzo, thank you for being here with me.
Thanks for having me, Mackenzie. Really appreciate it.
So we are going to talk about education, but I will tell you, I gotta share a little of my basketball stuff.
Okay.
So
You're
I
actually pretty tall.
I am pretty tall.
Yeah.
But I was a huge Nuggets fan.
Oh, really?
In the 90s.
Understood.
Dikembe Mutombo, who I know was one of your very best friends. You played college basketball with him.
He was, yeah.
I'm so sorry about his passing. He was really instrumental in getting me into the Nuggets. Back then he was one of the kind of bright spots of the Nuggets. I will tell you,
he was instrumental in getting you into the Nuggets. Like, what do you mean?
Into being a fan of
basketball,
being a fan. Right?
Okay.
You got to have Dikembe Mutombo.
I got you.
It was great. In fact, I was late to my prom because the Nuggets were clinching the playoff thing.
I think they beat the Sonics. Remember when they beat the Sonics?
They beat the Sonics.
Yeah. That was a big deal.
The picture of Dikembe on the floor holding the ball after they beat the Sonics. Yeah.
On the ground.
On the ground.
Crying.
Yeah.
He was crying, holding the ball.
Yeah.
That was spring of my senior year of high school. And so, I've been a basketball fan ever since. So It's so fun to talk to you. And I think one of the things that is really exciting about sports and what I've done in education with my schools, I don't think there's a better way to learn life skills than through what you can learn on the field or on the court, right? It's teamwork, it's grit, it's dealing with failure, communication, leadership. Yeah. There's so much, and we take kind of that sports ethos into everything that we do when we're educating our students across our schools. And so that's one of the things.
Yeah. So how long have you been doing this, Mackenzie?
So I opened my first school 10 years ago.
Oh, okay.
And the reason I did it, I was a frustrated mom, and I was just really frustrated with my girls' ability to get any sort of personalization.
How many kids you have?
I have 2 girls. Oldest one's a freshman in college now. She was actually my star basketball player growing up.
Very nice.
She was pretty good. And then I have a 16-year-old. And the school thing has been a big part of it. But, just to also kind of give you that background, I think about what school is supposed to do, right? It's supposed to educate. It's supposed to prepare kids for life. And unfortunately, I think a lot of times traditional education doesn't do that.
No, they don't.
Right.
No, unfortunately, no.
They don't. And so it's table stakes should be great academics, because in order to be a really good critical thinker, you have to have knowledge in your brain to grab from, right? And so let's crush academics, which I believe every single kid has the ability to be phenomenally good in academics.
Totally.
They absolutely. Now, our system does a terrible job of it.
Well, every child has the abilities, just many of them don't have the resources. All these children come out of the womb with the ability.
Yeah.
They just don't have the resources.
Exactly. You need to provide kids with the appropriate level of support, the right pace.
Yeah.
You can't expect a 5th grader to do 5th grade math if they don't have 2nd grade math skills or 3rd or whatever. And so that's one of the things we worked on. But then life skills are super important too. And again, athletics. So I know you care about education. You have a high school named after you. Congratulations.
You've done your homework.
That's amazing. Well, and we're here at this youth center, which is amazing. We've got the Alonzo Mourning gymnasium that we're in.
Yes.
Tell me why you care about education and giving back to young people.
Well, Mackenzie, first of all, I commend you for the work that you're doing. And it's not enough of us can prioritize the initiative that you started in trying to fill that void that the public school system or educational system isn't providing. Not enough of us can do that. So it's great that you're doing it, and I hope that you're creating some momentum, you're inspiring others to make a difference educationally, helping kids, especially in impoverished areas. You know, I'm a strong believer that every child is at risk. I don't care what area code they come from. Mm-hmm. You think about at-risk kids, you follow them home, you're gonna see at-risk situations. Close to 90% of our kids that are in my program here come from single-parent homes. Mm-hmm. So when you think about that, you think about the statistics of abuse, neglect, hygiene issues, teenage pregnancy, drug abuse. I mean, the list goes on.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of the obstacles that we have to deal with as it pertains to helping develop these kids. So you got to tear down those obstacles. You got to figure out, okay, what's getting in the way of them taking that positive road through education, whether it be attendance, attendance is probably one of the biggest obstacles, because trying to get kids to school, get them to school, and try to figure out what are the barriers that's keeping them from getting through the doors of a school to walking across the stage with a diploma in their hand. We educate kids from a holistic approach, okay? The public school system places a lot of emphasis on test taking, okay? Preparing kids to take tests. When the word that you use, life skills, I mean, we got to prepare these kids. Yes, we want them to have strong literacy skills, what have you, reading, writing, what have you, being able to communicate on so many different levels is extremely important, but if these kids don't know how to survive in society with life skills, then they're lost.
No, you think about basic financial literacy, right?
Totally.
I mean, basic skills.
Which is why we have
seven.
seven bank partners.
Wow.
7 that contribute to our initiative here. We got an $8 million budget here at this center. We
That's
provide
phenomenal.
services to over 4,000 children and families. Services, holistic services, educational services.
You've even got a medical cube in the lobby.
I mean, that's part of
where
the
people
development.
can get medical
That's part
help.
of the development of a child. You got to identify if little Johnny, little Susie, with a family that don't have proper healthcare insurance, you got to identify and know that, okay, if they can't see the board in the classroom, if they can't hear the teacher, if they're dealing with some hygiene issues or whatever these things that they're dealing with, we got to identify what those obstacles are, because a lot of times kids rebel because they're embarrassed.
Of course.
Because they can't compete in a classroom environment, and then eventually they end up getting kicked out of school, and that's not the reason. The underlying reason is that we have to come and understand that all of these children that we're trying to educate, they have something that they're dealing with that might be keeping them from crossing that finish line. And the beauty of what we've done, we've kind of surrounded our children with this safety net. And when they fall, we're able to catch them, stand them on their feet, tell them we love them, and put them on the right path to success. So unfortunately, the public school system does not do that, unfortunately. But through a public-private partnership that we have with Miami-Dade County Public Schools, it allows us to be in the schools during the day with the kids, okay?
So your organization is able to
we
be
have in-school coordinators. Yes,
okay.
We have in-school coordinators in the school during the day with the kids, identifying what those obstacles are and helping them get on the right path, working with the teachers and the principals and what have you, dealing with any family issues that they have. All right, we're able to knock on the door and identify what's going on in the home. Maybe they don't have any food in the refrigerator. Maybe their lights are on. Maybe they don't even have beds to sleep on. We identify what those obstacles are. Outside of that, we're with our children after school, homework tutorial, making sure they get something to eat before they go home, things of that nature, which a lot of times it might be their last meal of the day. And
I
with them,
imagine those adults that are there just hanging with them,
exactly.
right?
And we're with them during the summertime as well, So
Amazing.
The key to the development of a child, is strong, consistent, positive voices of influences.
Strong, consistent, positive voices of influence. Love it.
All right. So if you're consistently speaking to this child, saying the right words, lifting them up on so many different levels, they're going to gravitate towards that. They're going to respond to that. They know that they have somebody they can trust and support them. It's the reason why we got 100% high school graduation rate. There's a reason why 90% of our kids go to college and graduate. All of our kids are first generation scholars, So you ask me why. First of all, I'm 54 years old, and I didn't get here by myself. I'm here speaking to you today because of the contributions of other people. And with that said, I think about my foster mom. I think about my college coach, John Thompson. I think about my high school coach, Bill Lassiter. I think about all my other coaches. I think about family members. I think about all the people that help contribute to my well-being. And I say to myself, wow, I'd be doing them a disservice. I'd be doing them a disservice if I did not pay it forward.
Amazing.
So,
you were a foster kid?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. I was in a group home for about a year. And by the grace of God, I got taken in by this amazing family, this loving family, the Three family. And my foster mom fostered 49 kids in her lifetime.
Wow. There is a saint right there.
Oh, very much so. Very much so. But hands down, and she instilled so many different qualities in me as in helping me become a man. She was a very faith-based woman, so helping me understand and loving God and loving Jesus. She was a retired school teacher, and she helping me understand the importance of education. She was a very giving person, So all those qualities she implemented in me. And then I'm gonna tell you, I gravitated towards her tutelage. And I knew that that as I got older, that, life was more than basketball for me.
Mm-hmm. Well, and obviously you were a good basketball player, but you went to Georgetown University, and I'm sure basketball was helpful, but that means you couldn't have been a bad student. Were you a good student?
I was a very good student. I could have been a lot better. I put so much emphasis on basketball, which basketball is temporary, and is what I teach these young players coming into the NBA when I have time to really share with them that, when they come into this league, they're receiving all these accolades and, a tremendous amount of wealth, that one day the ball is going to stop bouncing, and you got to start planning what you're going to do with your life right now after the game of basketball.
And that's where all those life skills come in, right?
That's where those life skills come in, and what have you, But more importantly, reminding them that, they didn't get here by themselves, that it's important to prioritize giving back. And it's one of the things that we teach our kids here at Overtown Youth Center, helping them understand the importance of giving back. So we try to engage them into community activities and what have you, So outside of the health and wellness and services that we provide and identifying those health obstacles that might keep a child from developing, the educational skills that we provide, the computer literacy skills that we provide here as well, our 2 technology centers, as well as the arts. We introduce our kids to the arts. We try to expose our kids to as many things as we can at such a young age, because we know that each and every one of these children have a gift within inside them. And we try to tap into that gift by exposing them to as much as we can, So we're all the services that we provide, we've created an atmosphere, a tremendous atmosphere, that has allowed us to produce nothing but positive contributing citizens. So we're very proud of that.
Oh, it's absolutely incredible. I mean, there's so much research that's been done. If there is an advocate tied to a family or a household,
very much
you
so.
can see graduation rates increase. Just someone checking in, right? And those organizations having a place to spend time after school when who knows what kids are going home to.
Thanks for listening to Mackenzie Price and the Future of Education podcast. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, now is the time to do it so you can stay up to date on all our episodes. You can connect with Mackenzie on social media and be part of our daily conversation over on Instagram at futureof_education. For more info about the show and our guests, you can always visit futureofeducationpod.com. Lastly, if you're loving what you're learning, please leave a review wherever you listen to podcasts.